Hi, this is Asim,
This is Sujoy.
This is Amrita.
and you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast about the three main Khans of the Hindi film industry:
Amir.
Salman,
And Shara.
Hi, you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast regular feed. Thank you so much for your support over the years. We now have a Patreon channel with bonus content and exclusive merch for those of you who would like to support us. Every dollar goes towards creating more and better content. Visit us at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast.
Hi, welcome to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast. My name is Amrita, and I'm here with my lovely co-host Asim
hello.
and Sujoy.
Hey everybody.
We also have one more guest who is joining us, the man of the hour, Haroon Rashid from the BBC. Unfortunately, he is experiencing a couple of technical issues because it's not a Khandaan live stream or a Khandaan recording if we don't have technical difficulties with our guests. Like, this is a proud tradition that we've been having for 5 years, you guys. So that's why we've been a little bit late. And I know that is also a proud tradition because people keep telling us, like, we are always on brown people time. But can't help it, can't help it. So
We're brown people.
we
We're
are
brown
brown people. Very proudly so.
I mean, this is the brownest podcast you can ever get.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, welcome to Khandaan's first live stream in 2026. Asim, we haven't had a lot of these over the last year. Like, I feel like we did a whole bunch of these the previous few years, and then like in 2025 we had like, I can't even remember if we had any.
We're flaky as F, like we just do whatever we want to do. Like even now, this episode, we're doing it January the 18th, and we're still talking about 2025. It just seemed completely random, and I think everybody's kind of even over it. But it's our first episode. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, so we want to do our top 5 episodes at least. And it's also just good to hang out. Like, I want to just see how you guys are. I haven't spoken to you in a month. I missed you physically, and I know we were supposed to do this last week, but I had kind of a health scare a little bit, but thanks to the NHS I'm back, so I think it's also kind of partly my fault that we were a bit later than usual, but yeah, we're here to hang out.
I think one of my favorite things was when we were trying to decide who was going to come on the show, and we realized like literally everybody that we would invite had already done like 5 different shows
Yeah.
on the same topic.
Like, one of our guests was like, please no, I don't want to talk about 2025 anymore, I'm done.
I'm just
But
putting up the link on all the socials basically right now as we speak that we are live.
okay,
Yeah.
because my question for you, Sujoy, like I was
Yeah.
going to come to you actually. And I was going to say, like, yeah, we're it's all fun and games about like how we don't want to talk about 2025 anymore, but from like a Hindi film perspective, like what do you think the year has been like? Like, do you think like 2025 was a year where you could see how this industry is going to evolve over the next few years or so? Because I feel like we've been complaining for the past 10 years that they seem to be stuck in limbo, that there's nothing fresh coming out, especially after the pandemic, right? For the past 5 years, we've been talking about how stale everything has been. And then this year, it has been like sort of in bits and in fits and spurts, but it feels like there is a momentum building again.
Yes. I saw a post by a Hollywood Reporter India regarding the stats of how this year has overperformed, contrary to expectations from previous years, because they always thought that it was going to be yet another disastrous years. Because at the beginning, when we were looking forward to the movies, none of them really panned out the way we were expecting it to. There were no big Khan movies, obviously, that didn't really help. But there have been movies that came out of nowhere from the left field and have done numbers, and they have put like Bollywood on the big number map more than it has been the biggest earner in all the Indian film industries, which hasn't been the case in the previous 2 years or so. And kudos to Dhurandhar for being the torchbearer of that. And also Sayara, I would say, like Sayara earned a lot of money out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting a Mohit Suri Yash Raj collaboration to be the romantic movie of this generation, I suppose, and that's a big surprise to me. So, like in all things show business, how they say that nothing's predictable, and you think that you can predict some trends, and then some things don't go the way that you really think. So stuff like Ormax and stuff, you can throw it in the bin, I would say. All those patterns and all those stock analysis and all the candles and all that.
I mean, we've always said that Ormax is basically
Yeah,
bullshit. Like,
but
this is
yeah,
not an Ormax friendly
but,
podcast at all. But
yeah.
before we go any further, I want to welcome Haroon to the podcast.
Hello,
Welcome
everyone.
back. Welcome
Thank
back.
you. Thank you. It is so good to be back on Khandaan. You know you are my favorite podcast. The thing is, I only listen to your podcast. So when my Spotify did its like year wrapped,
Mhm.
there was no podcast page because you're the only one I listen to. So it didn't show me anything else. But it is a pleasure being back. How are you all?
Not bad,
Oh,
not bad.
that's a loaded question, I feel like, in this day and age. But yeah, so Haroon, like we were just talking about, like whether 2025 might be like a year where we begin to see Bollywood take like a turn for something. Like, we've been talking about how the past 10 years, Bollywood has been sort of stuck in limbo. It doesn't really have an identity of its own. It's been searching for where to head next. And it feels like in 2025, it sort of solidified a little bit at the center. Would you agree?
I actually think 2025 was like a super forgettable year for Bollywood. Like
Yeah.
I think for me, even when it came to like doing this and talking about like the best and worst of the year, or doing my Haroonies, which I do on my show every year, I was really struggling, and I was struggling for like more than a few films that I could say I would ever revisit beyond last year. I think you're absolutely right. I think it did solidify in some way or another for what it stands for today, but I'm actually not sure what that is. And I would love to know if you guys have a better idea of what it stands for. But I'm a bit lost at the moment.
I've got two allegories how I can describe my relationship with Bollywood in 2025. I've got the married version and I've got the single version. I've got to give you the married version first because obviously I've been happily married for a very long time. In every marriage, when you've been together for a long time, there's a period where you're just like basically living like housemates, You're like everybody's living their own lives. You're friendly. It's fine. You see each other at dinner times, but the rest, you're on your own. As a single person, you could also see it as that girl that you absolutely love, but she ends up dating toxic guys, and you can't do anything about it. That's what Bollywood has been for me. Like, I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. Like, it's like around me. I go and visit it sometimes. Nothing that it has churned out has really made me fall in love with it again. Even the movies in my top five, I've not rewatched them. Like there's one that I've gone to back a few times, for different reasons. But there's like even the best ones. I was like, it's good. I'm okay. I've seen it once. I don't think I'm gonna watch it again. So I don't know. I think there are some trends that have kind of come out of Bollywood. Um, and I think weirdly, it's aligned with a lot of what is going on with the world. So, in a way, if art reflects real life, I think Bollywood is doing a good job with that in a way, because we are in a hellfire.
Yeah, I mean the biggest
Nani,
trend for sorry, go on,
sorry, go
Amrita.
ahead. No, 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 go ahead.
I was just going to say the only trend that I can see really coming out is I felt like it was a year of contradictions. I
Mm.
felt like it was a year where we had films that had something to say, and sometimes the very same studio, the same filmmakers were making something that was saying the absolute opposite.
Opposite.
So
Yeah.
for me, it did feel like a year full of contradictions as to what people really stand for.
Mm.
I think when we're talking about art, the great thing about it is that art is never giving people what they want or what they think they want. It's sort of teaching people that, listen, this is not something that you even, imagined was possible or existed or knew that you liked. But let me introduce you to it. And it is wild and it's wonderful and it's fantastical and it's so different from everything else that you know. And if you look at like the great Bollywood movies, your Satyas, your Om Shanti Oms, like all of that stuff, it's never what the people expected or wanted. Whereas I feel in 2025, a lot of the movies that came out of the Hindi film industry were basically trying to give the audience what they wanted because there were profit margins at stake. And I feel like that to me is the direction in which Bollywood has committed itself to in 2025. They're like, well, we're just gonna look at our balance sheet from now on.
I think one of the things I noticed also, I was going through the last year's episode, 2024's episode, and one of the things that I saw in 2025 is really the return of macho, the return of manly, muscular men, more than 2024. Because when we were talking about it, some of the movies we loved were Crew, Lapata Ladies, even Do Patti, like a lot of these movies that were out there that had kind of like women stories, female centric stories. And this year, making my top five, I couldn't find any. Like there was none that I could really see these as like a pivotal performance for women in there, or like a kind of a softer approach to storytelling, or even a fun approach to storytelling. A lot of it is bearded men's with long hair and guns and things like that, and that seems to be at least the trend that I'm seeing. And again, is it a reflection of what Bollywood thinks the audience wants, or is it that Bollywood doesn't know and is just going for the lowest common denominator?
So I think like that's a really great jump off point to talk about our top fives for the year. And I think, how do we want to do this? Do we want to do it like in descending order, or do we want to start at the top and then go down? Like, how do we
Let's
want to do
go
it?
top 5 to 1,
Five to
and
one?
round robin.
Okay.
Maybe that would be a good way.
Why don't we start with Haroon?
Okay, so my number five of my best Hindi films of 2025 was Sitare Zameen Par, starring Amir Khan, which was supposed to be a spiritual successor to Tare Zameen Par, which he had ghost directed, it is believed, but left quite an imprint whenever it was 2006, 2007, whenever it released. And I really liked how funny it was. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was quite touching. I thought it reminded people to be um, grateful for whatever they have in life, and I think it brought a certain amount of joy to me in the cinema whilst watching it that I felt was missing from Hindi cinema for a while. I hadn't seen something that was so joyful and that was so celebratory for quite a while. So that's why that is my number five.
What about
So,
you?
this is not on my list, so I can talk a little bit about it. But I think what's also very interesting, and I want to see what you guys think about this, because it was just not a movie that came out; it was also like a theatrical distributional experiment that Amir
Hmm.
was doing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
YouTube release model.
yeah, he wanted to have like a YouTube release, and I think with Amir, he comes with the best of intentions. Amrita would probably agree he's not maybe the best at communicating those intentions in the best way, but I think he was trying to do something good, right? Like create a separate model that's away from Prime and Netflix and all of these streamers, and give a bit more control and option to revenue to filmmakers. Um, I don't know how successful that was, though. What do you guys think about that? like this idea
I
that he
mean,
was
there
trying.
were no official numbers released of how much they
Yeah.
made out of the YouTube release, so that means they didn't really make much out of it, right? But I mean, kudos to them for at least trying a new way rather than dumping it like every other movie that goes to die in Netflix
Yeah.
I
or
feel like
worse,
it.
Amazon Prime, right?
I feel like it was a failed distribution model, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
because I feel like if we take a film like Huck, for example, which released recently, and just the ripple effect that has had on Netflix since it released on there, um, I feel like Sitare Zameen Par could have done something if it had released on Netflix or Amazon Prime or a streamer that is widely available, particularly internationally. It could have done something. But none of my friends or family have seen Sitare Zameen Par, and they're not going to pay £5 to watch it on YouTube. YouTube streaming on demand is not really a widely accessible. Like I don't know anybody who's renting movies on YouTube in the UK.
Yeah.
So I think
To
they
do
missed
it.
something
I
there.
don't don't know how to do it. Like, what do you link your like? How does it work? Do you so I think that's a major problem where uh, I feel he missed the window of relevance when it did drop on Netflix. Like it was too late
Hmm.
because and then yes, I think just the platform of YouTube is just not there to kind of rent a movie. I honestly don't know how to do it. Amrita,
Yeah.
what are
Um,
your thoughts on Amir's?
I thought it was, I said this at the time, that I thought it was a really brave decision that he had made. And I thought it was, he really swung for the fences. And I appreciate that because there's not a lot of people with balls right now in the industry. And I just like, it was just exciting to see somebody try something.
Mm,
It's just that you need to understand what YouTube is as a platform and how it functions in India. And I think Amir thought that he had like an idea of how it worked. But honestly, no, I don't think so. Because like if you see what YouTube is delivering in India, it's in the subscription model. And it is in very different kind of content than the kind that he was trying to sell. So I don't know if YouTube is the best option for what he is trying to do, but if he is able to pull off the delay in the theatrical release window, that would be amazing because
Hmm.
I think that's the real battle, and that's not just in India. I feel like that's the battle that's being fought everywhere, including Hollywood. And we are definitely seeing a lot of monopolies being set up right now. And it just annoys me that nobody's really talking about that in India apart from Amir. Yeah. Anyway. Sujoy, what's on your top five?
My number five is Dhadak 2, which was produced by Dharma, had Siddhant Chaturvedi and Tripti, and it was a gut-wrenching drama about, the caste system in India, systemic discrimination. Uh, the big tragedy about this movie was that it was named Dharaktu, which was a big disservice to the story itself because it kind of franchises this entire genre. But if you totally negate that, just watch this movie on its own and imagine some other title to this movie, which it could have been. It's a very hard-hitting drama, and I thought it was, really well acted, really well directed, and it was one of the finest that I saw this year.
Did anyone else watch Dhadak 2?
it's my number five too. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I had watched the original, which I won't try to pronounce because it's a very complicated name. And I got to Dhadak 2 slightly later than everybody else. So I came to it after the hype that everybody was like, even it was probably one of my movies that I caught up on December because I was like, oh, which ones did I miss?
Mhm.
Which should be maybe in my top five. So I'm glad it made it as a top five. But a lot of people were saying that it really changes what the original was, And I don't think it really did. It did kind of add a little more weight to the female perspective, to Tripti's character, but I don't think there was like a fundamental difference with the original, which isn't bad. But clearly, this movie has been able to reach audiences which the original wouldn't have reached otherwise. And I think this is a good adaptation remake. But I also didn't mind the first Dhadak. I don't understand the hate that the first one got, because I mean, like, it had Janvi in it, it gave us Ishan. I thought it had a really good soundtrack. So I don't understand why so many people hate that movie. And I would wonder how many of those actually saw the original one and just hate the Dharma production of it. I
I,
think these are.
I I would say that there is a big difference between Sairat and Dhadak, though, because
Yeah,
Sairat's
that is.
big push was the whole caste politics of it,
Hmm.
right? Whereas Dhadak sort of whitewashes it being just a poor versus rich story, which is, we've seen that in Bollywood for many, many years. It completely negates the effect of caste. It does not exist in the universe of Dharak. Also, there is a big difference, big cinematic jump in how the entire length of the movie is versus the last bit, which is kind of borrowed from the original Sairat. So there is a big jump of,
Hmm.
oh, this really fairy tale movie then suddenly jumps into this one shot take of, how they end up in the climax. So that were two big things of how Sairat is so different from Dharak, and yet Dharma sort of dared to make it as a movie, and then obviously a sequel of that to be made in a spiritual sequence in a way is kind of icky, if you know what I mean.
I don't, yeah, I genuinely don't understand why they called it Dharak 2. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, here is our caste violence franchise. Like,
yeah.
who does that? I
You know,
don't understand.
I think there is though. I think there is a younger audience, like a Gen Z audience, who really do like particularly the climax shot of Derek One. And I know that that has been like chopped up into reels and TikTok videos, and people like the shock element of that final scene. And I think that they were hoping to draw that audience into Derek Two by using that name, because the entirety of Derek One is not something that was cinematically so great that you can cash in on its franchise name. But I
Hmm.
think that end shock scene, where Ishan is walking back, that scene is still talked about amongst certain audiences, and I think they just wanted that audience to come to the cinema, and I don't think they did. I don't think they did come for Derek 2.
Mm.
But I didn't mind Derek 1, and that might have been because I didn't watch Sairat. Maybe that's why I didn't mind Derek 1, because I didn't know what I was comparing it to. And similarly, Derek 2 is on my list as well. But should I talk about Derek 2 now or when it comes up on my list?
um,
Um, what number is it on your list?
Well, you haven't done your number 5 yet, so
yeah.
I
Ah,
bet.
Let's get it when you're
well,
there. Let's
Okay.
talk about
Yeah.
okay. Before we move on, I just want to point out that Nani is saying that people will be surprised to know that Sairat is the highest budget Marathi movie till today. Like, that's an industry that's punching above its weight. I don't have a number 5 because, like Haroon and Asim have been talking about, like, oh, it's been so difficult to come up with 5. Guys, I was like literally sitting there, like, what am I going to put on here? Like, even, like the rest of my top 4 that I was able to cobble together, you have no idea, like, the kind of like convoluted thought processes that I had to go through to come at those 4 things. But I genuinely couldn't think of like
I,
4
I I
genuine.
applaud at the great choices that Amrita made this year to not drop by at the cinema.
No, because like I would look at the trailer, I would hear what people are talking about, and I would be like, well, I'm not
Nope.
spending hours out of my life watching that shit. I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna do it. But I will tell you what my number 4 is, because now we are on the number 4 thing. And my number 4 for the year, and now that, yeah, I'm gonna say number 4 for me was Dhurandhar. I am actually gonna Dhurandhar. I know. So Haroon, you don't know this, but like, when Asim and Sujoy went to watch Dhurandhar, I was like, well, I'm not gonna watch it. Because it just came off as like way too masculine energy for me. And I was like, well, look, this is clearly like it had signs all over it on that trailer saying that this is not for you. And I was like, okay, I am very happy to sit at home and not watch it if you don't want my business. Okay, like that's okay. And then I went home for the holidays, and my brother, bless his heart, hasn't watched a Hindi movie in like 25 years. He minored
ये
in
family problem
film.
है.
The film
Nobody
buff
watches movie.
definitely. Yeah.
Podcast पे आ जाते हैं.
My brother minored in filmmaking in college, and his master's thesis was on like Tarkovsky. Like, this is not a man who watches Hindi cinema in any way, shape, or form. And he somehow heard through his friends or something that Durandar was like, getting all this buzz. Everybody was talking about it. And he was like, hey, you watch Hindi films. Why don't we go watch this as a fun brother sister sibling activity? And this poor man had no idea about any of it. Like, he didn't know what it was, he didn't know it was 3.5 hours. He literally ended up at the cinema and he was just like, what do you mean it's 3.5 hours?
And it's part one.
And it's part one. And it was honestly like I feel like that was the only way that I could have watched this film, which is very much a stupid person's idea of a smart film, right? Like it is like if you have never seen a movie and you go and watch Dhurandhar, you are just like, oh my god, this is like the best movie ever. Like I can absolutely understand it. I understand an entire generation that grew up watching like Kabhi Sawat and Kabhi Saheli, and then coming to watch Dhurandhar and being like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Like I get it. I absolutely get it. And I applaud it for capitalizing on a point in time and for being absolutely unhinged because if you had told me that in 2025 they would make a movie about like how Pakistanis are like aggressive and violent and like poor, but also like incredibly hot. I would be like, I don't understand any of these things. Like, I don't understand what is happening here. And for somehow they made this thing about like how much everyone should want to be like this one particular like like Pakistani gangster, and they made him into like a folk hero in India, where people on Twitter and on Instagram and stuff are talking about like Rehman the Cat as if like he's their number one hero, to the point where Pakistanis are like, I don't understand what's happening, but the music is good, I guess. It's
Rahman Decade is
insane.
India's Che Guevara, basically now. Like t-shirts printed.
T-shirts.
I don't get it, but but I also get it. Like I'm like, okay, I appreciate the hustle. And I'm sure there's like a whole other discourse that we can have about that movie, but I think this is why I would put it on the list. Even though like my butt was frozen after 3.5 hours and I was half deaf and I had a migraine at the end of it. So yeah. Haroon, what's your number four?
My number four is Dharak 2. Also, I have lots to say about Dhurandhar. It will come up in some categories later on. I'm sure it will come
Yeah,
up
yeah. I'm
later on.
holding myself back
Yeah,
to
I'm
you.
holding myself as well. I'm literally like this. Derek 2 is my number four for all the reasons that all of you have already mentioned about the film. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was a really nice I think it goes against what I expected of the film because the ending is so different to what I expected from the film because you go in with this expectation of the climax of the first one. I really like how it didn't do that. I thought the performances were really strong from Siddhant and Tripti. I was really happy to see Tripti do a performance that was more than just looking great on screen, and it had been a long while since we'd seen anything that required her to do anything more than that. Also, reassured me that Siddhant does have something to offer because I was getting to the point where I was questioning his credentials as an actor and questioning how much he really had to give. I really like the villain as well. I've forgotten the actor's name and the character's name, but just like how sinister he is and how like suspicious he is in all of his movements. And that one scene where he realizes that Siddhant's character is from a lower caste and he's about to eat food from him. And I think there were some really memorable moments from the film, which is why it's my number four.
What about you, Sujoy?
My number four is unsurprisingly Sayara. I don't know what else remains to be said about this, but I'll just echo the amount of Instagram reels or the industry of Instagram reels that have survived this year just on the basis of audience reactions in the cinema from their Sayara viewings. God bless the Gen Z, man. What would we do without you? And what would Yash Raj be this year without you? But I'm really happy that Mohit Suri is still relevant and his musicals are still relevant in 2025, where we sort of blame Gen Z to be so disconnected, so attention deficient, and they were so detached from and so yeah, so detached basically. And for them to champion this movie and take it to another level, not just a piece of entertainment, is quite heartening, I would say.
And
And not just that, yeah, as a movie as well, it really worked for me.
what about you, Asim?
Number four?
Yeah.
Super Boys of Maligaon is my number four.
Mm.
It's the first movie that I actually cried a little bit, like I got like teary-eyed when I was watching it, and I had low expectations. I didn't think it would be something that I would really like. I mean, love as much as everybody else did, but there's something about Rima Kakti's direction and Excel. Just is it Tiger Baby or is it Excel? I'm
Tiger
not, I'm not
Baby.
sure.
It's Tiger Baby.
Yeah, just the care that they bring to production design and the world that they create, it really kind of sucks you into it, and you really start feeling for these people. And just the idea of the magic of cinema and its healing powers, all of those really worked for me in Superboys. So in a tough year, this is my number four.
Cool. I think like that's on my list actually, but I haven't gotten around to watching it. I don't know why. It's
It
just
could
one
have
of
been
those
your number
things.
five.
It could have been my number
Yeah.
five. It could have been. I'll give it like my number five, you know. Um,
Honorary.
my number three is actually Sitare Zameen Par, which we have already discussed. And yeah, it was one of the few like very like feel good movies that came out this year, and I feel like it was almost like a throwback to a nicer, kind of gentler time where we were saying like, oh, you know what, people are different, but they still deserve empowerment and dignity and free will. And I thought like that's like a really wonderful message to give to a country like India. So I thought that was great. What about you, Haroon? What's your number three?
My number three is Sayara. I love Sayara. I loved it. I loved it. I watched it twice in the cinema. I haven't revisited it since it's been on Netflix, but I got my Sayara fix. I don't know what I went in expecting. I it had positioned itself very much in a kind of Kabir Singh style of cinema before it had released. Like it was a great soundtrack and it was an aggressive hero, and that's all you pretty much knew about it. So I think the fact that it wasn't that was a really pleasant surprise. I think we'll talk about Ahan and Aneet later, but I thought they were really good. The soundtrack is spectacular. I thought it was shot really well. I like the color palette of it. Um, I loved it. I want to watch it again. I've convinced myself that I'm going to watch it again.
And Sujoy.
My number three is Superboys of Malegaon. You guys have already, sung praise for this movie. I love movies about movies and movie making, and this was. I also am a fan of the original documentary Malegaon Ka Superman, and when this movie was, sort of announced, everybody was up in arms, especially the film bros, about why do you really want to make, and it would sort of, be just a, cash grab or whatever. But I had sort of faith in the team of Tiger Baby and the makers behind it, and I think everybody who was involved in making the cast and the crew and the director in Superboys of Malegaon, they really paid attention to every single detail. They managed to tell this heartwarming story about the madness of movie making, and also with all the human elements of it, what goes behind these people's lives, or how they are struggling and why they are struggling, and why they still continue to have this something special in their life. And yeah, I cried a lot. I cry at the movies very easily, so Superboy is up on number three for me.
Aw. And you, Asim.
Number three is Sayara for me too. Harun, shall I tell you how many times I watched this movie this year?
Go on, go on.
Seven. Seven
Wow.
times.
Wow,
I've watched this movie
wow.
7 times, 4 times in theaters. But
Uh,
with the caveat, I have two women around me that absolutely love this movie and
Just
wanted
own
to.
it. Ask him, own it, man.
Own
We love
it.
it. It's
I
okay.
love it. I
Two
love it.
two big surprises have happened on the podcast so far, and Amrita is a champion for Dhurandhar, and Asim has watched Sayara 7 times.
Seven
It's
times.
yeah.
Yeah, it's I love this movie. Like it's so good. Like it gives me everything that I love about Bollywood. And I feel, it's like when you go on holiday and you go to like this amazing country and you've been eating sushi and like, noodles and ramen, you come back home and you get dal chawal, like, like with kebab. Like, that feeling, man? Like, that's what Sayara was for me. Like, it hit me in a place that wasn't being fulfilled for so long. And
Hmm.
just young stars, love stories, music, well done. And, Sujoy, you were saying earlier about who saw Mohit Suri coming. I saw Mohit Suri coming. I've been on the Mohit Suri train for so long. And finally, the world is waking up with Sayara, and it's going to be waking up with Awara Pan 2 very soon, too, again. So,
That's
I,
not him though, right? He's not directing that.
no, no,
Yeah.
why? It's not, oh my
Yeah,
God.
he's not.
That's the major
Yeah.
mistake if that's not happening then.
No, because
Yeah.
I think he fell out with Vishesh Films, who have the
Ah,
rights for Avarapan, and therefore, yeah, so Mukesh Bhatt is making it with somebody else.
oh my
No.
God.
So manage your expectations, Asim.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I absolutely love this movie. Like, I think we want to talk about it a little bit later on. But yeah, it's 7 times, guys. 7 times.
I just want to call out for Maida, who said, I love the trend of Amrita putting animal and then Dhurandhar on her year-end list. You know why? Because I'm a little shit stirrer. That's why.
अमृता को
um,
चाहिए ड्रामा.
and then okay, so my number two is actually Sayara. It's been for all the reasons that you guys said, like it's been a long time since I went to the movies and I saw young love on the screen, especially in a Hindi film context that didn't feel manufactured. Like this was fresh, it felt organic, like it was like two people, like two kids who were really a throwback to what it used to be like when young stars got their launch. And it was the music, like Haroon said, like everything just came together and gelled. I had like a really great time. What's your number two, Haroon?
My number two is Metro Indino. Anurag Basu's Metro Indino. I really, really enjoyed this film. I think it makes such a big difference on the setting of how you view a film as well, right? Like the reason why I think Superboys isn't in my top five, for example, is because I watched it on a viewing link on a laptop. I couldn't even stream it on my TV, and so I I feel like it clouded my judgment of the film. Maybe I need to revisit it. But the opposite is true for Metro Indino. I watched it in a completely blacked out auditorium on a late night show on the first day it opened, and I just surrendered myself to this musical journey, and I loved it. And very early on, you know what the tone is going to be and how musical it is going to get. I think he did a beautiful job of weaving in all of those stories together. I think Konkana Sen Sharma, her and Nina Gupta for me were like standouts in the film. And I thought it was actually for me maybe better than the original Life in the Metro. I think the stories just dealt with them. It was weird because there was all this backlash for Metro Indanor saying that it glorified infidelity and that it was kind of destroying marriages. And I actually think that it showed a more realistic approach to how a couple might navigate those conversations than a more kind of clear cut black and white answer. And I like that about the film.
You know, as you were talking, I was trying to think like, oh yeah, I had watched Metro in Dino and I didn't hate it. Like it could have been my number five. And then I was trying to think like, why didn't I put it in my number five? And I realized it's because I really, really hated that track with Fatima Sana Sheikh and Ali Fazal. Like it was the worst track. And I loathed every single second that the two of them were on screen. Like, and I like them. I like Ali Fazal and I like Fatima Sana Sheikh, but my God, it was just horrendous. Anyway, Sujoy, what's your number two?
Uh, I would quickly mention Metro Indino. It's on my honorable mentions of the year, but because
Mhm.
I just enjoy Anurag Basu and his whimsy and his flight of imagination. He just takes the swing, and doesn't care. And how him and Preetham collaborate on his movies. There's no other. It's one of those golden couples that we have that brings cinematic. Magic every single time for me. Whether it works or not is another thing. But my number two is Homebound. What Haroon mentioned, I watched this on a screener link with big watermarks everywhere, and even then, this movie did not stop. Keep it kept lingering on in my memory long after it had finished because it's such a strong, heartwarming, heartfelt, and heartbreaking story. Yeah, and I did not know where it was going to go, and when it went to the COVID era of things, I knew what was going to happen, and I did not know what it was based on. I read up after that. Really strong direction by Neeraj Gaiwan and really amazing performances by the two lead. Vishal Jetwa and Ishan Khattar were amazing, and even Janvi was great. I would say. My number two is Homebound.
I feel like this is such a respectable panel, and then I am like the black sheep that is the voice of the masses. Asim, what's your number two?
Should we not go to Haroon first for number two, maybe?
I've done my number two.
Oh,
No, I
yeah.
haven't done my number two. Sorry. Has everybody done their number three?
Yes, yes, you've done your number two.
I've done my number two.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm
sorry.
I'm messing
There's so
things up
many
then.
films here. Yes, I've done my number two.
Uh,
Yes.
my number two is Nishanchi, part one and two. I just put them together as one movie. Again, one of those movies that I watched at a right time. It was already like Christmas break. I had tons of time to watch a 6 hour movie. I was on the couch. I was like, I'll commit to this. But I'll be honest. Within 5 minutes, I was in. Like I knew I was gonna love this movie. And it was a world again that Anurag Kashyap created that you immediately understand what it is. The performances are amazing. Like playing a twin character that is so different from each other physically. I think Sujoy, were you mentioning this South
Irata.
Indian Irrata, right? A couple of like that where you almost don't even see that they're the same people, and that's the way
Yeah.
the main actor plays it. The female character Rinku, the mother character, even like the very amazing antagonist that they have. It's like such a slimy person, but it also has so much toxicity in it. I just love Nishanchi, and I wish that more people watch it, and I wish more people had 6 hours to watch a movie, which I think a lot of people just don't, and that just scares them. But when I was done with those first 3 hours, I didn't want a break. I just wanted to watch it the next day. So that's how good this movie is. And I think it's one of those that maybe is not on a lot of people's radar anymore, because we move on so quickly. But it's available on Prime, but you will need 6 hours. So that is a
Yeah.
commitment. Yeah.
Um, okay, so now we are headed to our top movie of 2025. And guys, my top movie for 2025 is the one, the only badass Ravi Kumar.
Wow. Wow.
I am a woman of the people and I speak for the masses, Haroon.
So when you
Like,
said you couldn't find a number five, you also couldn't find a number one, and that's where this has come from.
Amrita hates Bollywood this much.
it was honestly the most uncomplicated, like fun time that I had at the movies this year. It was insane from beginning to end. I went with like a giant group of people, like Haroon was saying, the context in which you see something also influences how you feel about it. And I went with like a bunch of my friends, but also a theater full of Himesh Reshamia, like, can we call them fans? I don't know, because they were also like roasting
Cultists
him.
is what we call it.
Yeah. Like it felt like a really okay, I'll tell you what I really liked about it. It felt like we were all in on the joke, including
Hmm.
Himesh. So we weren't like we were laughing, but he was laughing at himself as well. So it wasn't just about, him making something ridiculous and then all of us pointing and laughing. It was about him saying, "Hey, I know this is ridiculous, but I also know this is awesomely funny, and I'm going to just sort of lean into it. And I welcome you to just appreciate how ridiculous this is." And we all just sort of got into it, and it felt like a really community sort of thing where we were all just having such a good time. And it felt like something that Himesh had made for his audience, and it was something that we could all just like. There was no agenda to that film. It was just about like, hey, I have like a bunch of like music I've been working on, and then there's this weird very derivative plot that is also an homage to like your classic Bollywood spy thrillers, I guess. And it's a comedy, and then we all just sort of come together and we have a good time for like a couple of hours. And I loved it. It was just the best theatrical experience I had all year. So badass Ravi Kumar, take a bow.
Wow.
Haroon, what about you?
I feel wrong. I feel wrong talking about my number one now because it's like I can't say that the viewing experience emoted those same kind of feelings within me or evoked the same feeling within me. But Homebound is undoubtedly my number one film of the year. I absolutely loved it to such an extent that I watched it twice. I watched it and then I forced everybody around me to watch it, and then I've not stopped talking about it since. And like Sujoy, I also did watch this one on a viewing link, but maybe the intimacy of home added to it. I don't know. For some reason, I found it so devastatingly heartbreaking, and I thought it was performed to perfection. And I thought the screenplay was so tight. And I know that there were a lot of other versions of this film or that were planned. I've heard the director talking about how there was another romantic track involved. I'm just so glad that they kept it to what it was. For me, there is one standout scene where Ishan goes to Vishal's balcony after having quit his job. And I just think it is probably for me one of the best scenes of all time. And the way Vishal's character consoles him in that moment. I've never seen that sort of masculine vulnerability on screen before. And I just thought it was just incredible.
Yeah,
What
it's
about
my
you?
number one too, Homebound.
Oh,
Just to kind of add here, I think a movie like that, like to speak it in to say in Amrita's parlance, "ये film मेरे दिल के ताज महल में है," like that kind of thing.
banger song, banger song.
Just translating things for Himesh Reshamia fans, they might not have seen Homebound. No, but it's such a gentle movie, and like you, Harun, I saw it also on a streaming link, and I just could not wait for people to discover it. And the temptation to share that streaming link to people was so tough that I was gonna, break NDAs for it. But it's such a gentle story, and there's so many different elements that kind of like affect you, right? And I think obviously you have the main story of the kind of casteism, and you have the story about COVID, but you also have the story about Islamophobia in, how embedded it is. And that scene where, Ishan is serving the food and all of that, the cricket match,
Hmm.
like I I just they had to pause, and I just went quiet for 20 minutes, because it's not a live I'm not in India and stuff like that, but it's a thing that I've gone through as a Muslim or as a Pakistani in a completely different setting, right? And the universality of it, and the rage that is shown in trying to stand up but realizing that you have no power, is something that again speaks to me, because you're feeling so much rage about what's going on, what's happening in the world, and you realize you have no power. You can just raise your voice in anger, right? And those things, it's one of those movies that will stay with me for the rest of my life, but it's not necessarily a movie I want to revisit, because it's so painful and emotionally creates such a turmoil in me. But yeah, Homebound is my number one. I absolutely loved it.
Wow. And so I guess Sujoy, like you're up
Yeah,
for,
I'm ending the top five with a very film bro answer, and my number one is Nishanchi.
yeah.
It's a 6 hour wank fest of Anurag Kashyapisms, which I will take any day. I really, really enjoyed this. It's not that, I'm a Anurag Kashyap fan. Obviously, I am. His sort of outlook on filmmaking and his storytelling totally works for me, and that's why this worked. But on the contrary, Kennedy did not work as much. So
Mm,
I would say that Nishanchi is really his one of his strongest movies since I think the last big one that I really enjoyed was Mukkebaz, and I think a lot of those emotions still continue in the frustration of somebody not being able to provide for their family, and how the systemic corruption works on that level to pull you down every single time, generation after generation, and the performances and the needle drops and the title drops, everything worked for me. It was such a yeah. I just feel disappointed that I couldn't catch it at the cinema. But again, the second movie did not make it to the cinema. It was released on Prime straight after.
Unceremoniously just dropped on Prime,
Yeah,
and like it's so
yeah.
confusing, like which part am I watching? Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody is going to watch Nishanchi after my sort of recommendation, please do. You will have a fun time if you enjoy Anurag Kashyap movies.
I'm currently caught between watching Nishanshi for the first time or watching Sayara for the third time, so I'll let you know.
It's a big commitment, but I think it pays off.
Okay, I feel like we have sort of overshot the live stream by a bit. Do we want to do like a quick round of the categories?
Yes.
Or yes?
Yeah,
Or do we want
let's
to
do it.
save this for another?
Depends on Haroon's time more than
No,
anything.
you
But
have all my time. You just don't have my phone battery. So at one point or another, we'll have to take a break. But you have all my time.
okay.
Okay, let's just do this as like a sort of like a really fast round. Like,
Oh, can I
like
quickly do
let's
some
not.
honorable mentions?
Yes.
Very
Yeah,
Yeah.
quickly.
yeah, sure.
Okay, I did really like Gears 3 2 way more than I thought I would like it. I thought performance-wise and structure-wise, it was really good. I really like Hug. And contrary to what a lot of people might think, I would include Durandar in my honorable mentions as well. That's all I want to say.
What is
Karna padta
Kesari
hai.
2? Because I don't remember what Kesari 2 was about.
It
What was
was
that
the
about?
Akshay Kumar, Madhavan, Ananya Pandey,
Oh,
Jallianwala
oh,
Bagh
right, right,
courtroom
right,
drama.
right. Right,
Yeah,
right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. It was good. It was good. Like I understand why it's on your honorable mention for sure.
Okay, so let's just do like a few quick categories to just sort of wrap this up. Is there any movie, Asim, is there any movie that you quit watching this year?
Yes, and I've unleashed the Amrita in me more this year, and I try to do more and more every year. Like be more like Amrita. That's like my mantra in life, right? So if I'm not enjoying a movie, I'll give it 20 minutes, but then I will quit. And I had three of those. First was Malik, a movie with Rajkumar Rao, which is kind of a gangster drama. But it had literally every cliche of a gangster drama, and I felt like I've seen this movie 100,000 times. I quit after 20 minutes. Nadania, I tried. I was hoping this would be a fun rom-commy kind of thing that I would then recommend to my daughter to watch. After 20 minutes, I was like, this is none of those things, and I cannot recommend this movie to anybody. So I quit on Nadania. And the third one was the Thamma. I
Yeah,
don't know how to pronounce the name of the movie.
Tamatama.
I am not a fan of the Maddox universe. These movies do not work for me at all. I basically watched it for Rashmika because I watched The Girlfriend and I thought she was so amazing in it. And I was like, "Right, let's give this a chance." And I thought this movie, it was like a Dhurandhar scene was happening on me. Like that's what this movie was for me. Like it was so bad. It was like getting tortured. Like I hated everything about it. I was like, no, be Amrita. Stopped watching the movie.
Sujoy, did you have something that you quit?
Yeah, I forgot about Nadania that I had also quit watching Nadania, but then I really totally removed that from my memory completely. The movie that I actively remember like saying nope after 20 minutes was Inspector Zende, which released on
So bad.
Netflix, I think, with Manoj Bajpayee playing this really funny cop, but he's also very smart. I totally gave up on it. It did not work for me.
That
What
movie
about
really
you,
thought it
Haroon?
was so funny and it wasn't funny at all. Like it was Zende. Like it's so
I
bad.
feel like I knew that from the trailer. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of judging Sujoy a little bit for like even tuning into
I
it.
think that would. I think I stopped watching that as well. I had forgotten about Inspector Zende. Some things they just leave my memory completely after I'm done with it.
I'm
But
sorry to remember,
yeah, thanks.
remind
Yeah,
you
thanks.
guys.
I even removed it from the Netflix continue watching. I've
Uh,
removed it from there
yeah,
straight
yeah,
away, so it was never coming back. So my thing is, so obviously because I review films every week for work, if I miss it in the cinema, because if I'm in the cinema, then I have to sit through it, right, completely. And that's the case with most things. It's seldom that I will leave a cinema halfway through a film. But if it's now on streaming and I'm just watching it, so it's in my knowledge somewhere, then if it's not got me within 15 minutes, I'm gone. So Son of Sardar 2, Single Salma, Azad, and Skyforce, I just could not do. And I haven't even attempted De Pyar De 2 yet. So that might have entered as well.
yeah.
I love
You know,
Amrita's expression like, are these movies? Single Salma.
Have you guys
These
seen Singer
words.
Salma?
but
I was
also
gonna watch Single Salma actually.
I also it's been a year and I still can't get over how stupid that Skyforce title is. Like it's called Skyforce. Like
Yeah.
who came up with it and how do we I get them fired? Like I want to go back in time and get them fired.
I
Yeah,
think
but
there was the other one with Azad. I think as after I got past Uyama, I was like, this film has nothing more to offer me now. So it's like it's goodbye.
yeah, yeah.
Wasn't that about a horse? Like the
Yes.
one
Yes.
I, I honestly. Anyway, I don't think I abandoned anything, mostly because I didn't start anything,
Started.
but I did. I did fast forward through Raat Akeli Hai because again, like like I really like the first one, and that's why I gave the second one a chance, and it just wasn't as good, honestly.
That was
Um,
actually almost going to be on my honorable mentions, Rata
Oh
Keli
yeah,
Happy. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was just really bored through like big parts of it. But I don't. So that brings me to my next question. Like, are there any movies that you refuse to watch?
I mean, not really. Like, there's nothing that I will outwardly refuse to watch. I didn't watch The Taj Story and Bengal Files, but that wasn't because firstly, those films were not really widely available where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, there was enough information out about those films already for me to know that whatever I was to say about those films was going to cause some sort of issue. And so I didn't watch those.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Asim, you are like the thing that I don't know how I feel about it, but there's like anytime there's like a really terrible movie out, and I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna watch that. And Asim is like, well, I want to see what it says, and
Yeah,
I'm just like, what is wrong with you?
yeah.
What are the movies that you refuse to watch this year?
I am also trying to figure out what's wrong with me. I've been trying to figure that out for a long time. I refused to watch Chava, Skyforce, Ground Zero, Houseful 5, all three versions or two versions, and then Musty 4. Um, like, I don't know how many versions of Houseful 5 there were. I didn't watch any of them. And then, yeah. Yeah, the Taj story, yeah, that was like I wouldn't even think of watching that anyway. But yeah, yeah, it's not
Aren't you
there.
sometimes curious?
Yeah,
No,
Genuinely, a large part of me is curious. Like, I want to
100%.
see what is being said.
Yeah,
But sorry, please
no.
continue.
I agree with you. I That's the reason why I watch a lot of things that I absolutely don't agree with because I want to know what they're saying, right? But a lot of the movies, like Chava, Skyforce, I just didn't think these were probably well-made movies. Like it didn't feel like they were gonna be well-made movies. So you have to sit through a narrative that you don't want to listen to, and then you have to listen to it in a badly made way. I was like, I don't want to be part of it. And then a lot of these sex comedies, I have real problems with, like such old men lusting over such young women. It's the ick factor is so high that I can't do it, man. Like, I'm like an older man. I'm like, treat these women with respect, man. Like, come on. Like, you can't do this anymore. So yeah,
Uh,
that's
I
another.
just want to say that there's like a couple of people in the chat who are kind of standing up for De De Pyar De too. Razia says it wasn't as good as the first, but I would still watch it for Rakul and
There's the
Madhavan.
first.
Yeah, it's a De De Pyar De 2.
Oh wow.
And Devansh says that it is a silly, self aware Bollywood time pass, and the inside jokes totally make it work.
Inside of
So,
what?
I'll consider it. I'll try it. I'll try it. But you guys have set really high standards for where the cutoff point needs to be. So if it doesn't have me in
The
20, then
cutoff
I'm
point is a moot point because we have badass Ravi Kumar as number one now.
which is legendary. I'm so sorry for all three of you that you haven't watched it.
We didn't
Like,
get it.
that
I
is,
don't think
It's
we.
not
yeah, I
available
Yeah,
on
know. I
streaming,
yeah.
know.
so
It's a
And it's
secret
not
cult
available.
you've
Yeah.
created, like the Himesh Reshmiya cult, and we're not part of it.
I don't
yeah.
know why Himesh hasn't made a deal with the streaming sites, because I can't believe that the streaming sites didn't make him an offer, because it was genuinely a hit. Like, it was really successful in
Was
India.
it actually? Was it a hit?
Yeah, it was a hit.
He's going to monetize the Setmax model. In a couple of years, it will be the only movie that's playing all throughout 24/7 on Setmax. So yeah.
Okay, so Sujoy, was there like a movie that you refused to see?
Skyforce, Houseful, Aap Jaisa Koi, Son of Sardar, De De Pyar De 2, Bengal Files, the usual ones. Love Yapa, even Masti 4. Yeah.
I watched Lavyapa. Like, I just want to give myself credit for, like, I made it out to the theater and I watched Lavyapa.
But
I
Love Yapa. So very quickly, Love Yapa. The blow of Love Yapa was softened a lot because Nardania released a week later.
Yeah.
So Love Yapa looks like a masterpiece
It
because you
really
watched
does.
Nardania a week later.
It
Yeah.
really does. I also this Merlange says that damn, I liked Single Salma. So you know what? Maybe like Single Salma is good, Asim. Like, you should definitely try that out. Okay, so what's your best song for the year? Asim, I'll start with you.
So the Sayara thing is there,
Of
the
course.
Barbad and Sayara, but I will say the Sayara reprise, the female version that comes at the end. I think that's kind of like the best one.
Shreya Forever.
Yeah, and then I think I know this is weird, and I think me and Haroon have had separate conversations about this. Is Awara Angara from Tere Ishq Mein has it the album dropped not too long ago, and it's just metrics, like it's legit the song I've listened to the most this year from Bollywood. And I'll be honest, I've not listened to too much Bollywood this year. There's not sound like I've been listening to a lot of Pakistani music. That's been my year. And weirdly, a lot of Punjabi music, which was never part of the rotation, but now it's so good, and it's also Haroon's fault. But yeah, Awara Angara is like, I don't know why this song has not become like what's that Ashiki 3 song? Like, what was the Arjit thing?
There's only a two Ashikis, by the
The
way.
second one, like the big one, the big massive song.
Kyuki
Tumi
tum
ho.
hi ho.
Yeah, that's the level that I thought this song would hit, and it's not. And I
People
don't
do
know.
like it. People do like it. It is popular, that song, but not Tumi ho.
No,
Yeah,
like I feel like Tere Ishq Mein, that album, like it has a Shamshera problem where like the people for whom it hit really hit,
Shamshira is
but
an amazing soundtrack.
it
It is
is
an incredible
fantastic.
soundtrack.
soundtrack. Yeah, true.
Fantastic. I think like you and I are the only ones that have been advocating for it. But yeah. Anyway, Sujoy, I've come to you last. Haroon, what was the best song of the year for you?
Sayara title track, Sayara reprise, Sayara rock version, Sayara sad version, Sayara instrumental version, Sayara a cappella version, every version of Sayara, and then every version of Barbad from the same film. And then the only one that I would say is not from the Sayara movie is I really like Aur Mohabbat Kitni Karoon from Metro Indino. That would be my other one that I'd add to the list. But give me Sayara. Give me it in every form. Just release it as a whole, like a 60-minute unedited version. I'll take it.
Arun,
Uh,
can I like just quick question? I want to ask this. I've always wanted to wonder because you're on the radio, you end up hearing a song a lot more than we do, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
is it something about the repeatability of a song that just kind of makes you like it more, like how hooky it is, or something, or does it end up
Yeah.
annoying you more where you don't like a song and
You know what? When a song, so for example, with Sayara, I still play Sayara pretty much close to every day. Not just the title track, but
yeah.
like a song from the soundtrack. And there's only one song that I'm irritated by, and even then it's a mild irritation, which is that Tum Hoto from Sayara. For me, it doesn't do anything. So I'll play it once every 3 months maybe. Whereas the other songs, there is nothing that's really offensive about them in any way. So I could just keep listening.
Razia is like, I think Haroon liked the songs from Sayara, but I'm not sure if I got it. Okay, I'm saying Sujoy for last, so I'll say I also liked Sayara, but the other song that I really love this year and the one that I've been singing to myself is Zamana Lage from Metro Indino. Like that has been like that's a real earworm for me this year. But Sujoy, what has been your song?
There is only one answer for me, and that is the Mana Lage. But the Papon version, I really, really like the ghazal feel that it has, and how stripped down it is. It's almost a cappella, but yeah, I really, really, really like that song, Zamana Lage from Metro Indino. I will quickly mention the needle drops in Dhurandhar. They have been amazing, but also Shararat, which is yeah, it's such a bop, and I would like to highlight that.
There
I
is
would
a
have
great
to.
album. Like,
Yeah, I would
sorry.
have to actually. Sujoy very, very rightfully has mentioned Dhurandhar. I would have to add Dhurandhar into my best
Yeah,
songs of the year.
yeah. Asim is like, never.
I'm refusing. I won't even admit it how much I've listened to the song. I lie. I will lie and say it's not on there.
What's it called? Ishq Jalakar is amazing.
Yeah,
Gera Hua is amazing. Like
yeah,
they are incredibly well made songs.
No,
yeah.
but the thing also with the Durandar, the reels, like you hear it so many times because it got that the spy in Pakistan, spy in Karachi. So you
Uh-huh.
hear that thing 100,000 times, and it's like, oh my god, I can't. But
No, but
yeah, no,
even Ramba Ho, it's
yeah,
just it is brilliant.
Really good.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they
true.
like they did like really good. Like they did like really good. Well, we'll talk about Shashwat Sachdev in a bit because yeah,
But I
I want to
also
talk
like
about
that
him.
the younger generation is rediscovering Hawa Hawa, you know. I
Mm.
love that. I love that for you guys.
So, what's the best choreography? Do you have anything? Because
This
Yeah.
was a tough one for me just generally. Like I had trouble, but I think Panwari is the one that from weirdly
Yeah.
like
Sunny
up
Sanskari.
about after all, and then it comes in choreography. Which is just funny. It's just like it was like a colorful, dancey kind of like Ganesh Acharya kind of choreography in there. I appreciate it. I like the actors in it. I like Varun. Although I'm really laughing at everybody suddenly discovering he's a bad actor on Twitter and TikTok, which I'm like having so much fun with. And I feel that Varun is probably having fun with like, chalo.
Do you think he's a bad actor?
No, I mean, I
Because
don't think
I
he's.
don't think he's a bad actor.
No, I love Varun. I've always loved him. I think he's just a star. He's not an actor. Like, and times he's done Badlapur, and he's done that where the
October.
girl dies and stuff like that. He's done it, so it's fine. I don't think he understands what he's doing, but he's done it. And but I just like him in Chichora Varun, and suddenly that's not good enough for people. Like, what do you want? Like it's.
This reminds me of when like RGV was talking about Fardeen Khan, and he was like, you see, people don't understand, and this is one of the greatest like backhanded compliments of all time. He was like, people don't understand. He's a good-looking boy, and that's his strength. People keep asking him to act, and that's not what he's good for.
I think Varun is better than Fardeen Khan though. Like I'll like he's like legit good.
Haroon, what's do you is Panwari also your favorite
Do you know? So
choreography?
I actually messaged Asim about this category because I was like, I don't think there has been any great choreography. But then I saw what you guys have written down, and I do agree with most of that. I think the only other two that I might add to that. So I don't think it's a particularly great year for choreography. Like I don't think the choreography has been great. But if you talk about songs that have memorable dance hook steps that have managed to leave some sort of impression. I think Uyama right at the top of the year was something. Like I don't know if it was good, I don't know if it was bad, I don't know if it was like I don't know
It was
what
a
it was,
thing.
but it was something. Like it created something. And similarly, Shararat has created something. I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's bad, but it's created something.
But I have to say with Shararat though, because a lot of people will be mentioning. I don't know if Shararat is the choreography or just that camera that moves when they do the thing. Is it camera? Like I don't know what it is. And I like Shararat. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying like what is it? But yeah.
For me, like I really enjoyed Dhun from Sayara, which is not like what most people are thinking of when they're thinking of like choreography. But I really like the way they designed that entire song because it felt
Were
like
you
really
not
fresh.
were you not just distracted the whole time that all the equipment was getting
Yeah.
rained on behind? Like that's the only thing I was looking at in the.
That's
I
the
mean,
typical Amrita choreography standing in the rain. Like that's the choreography I like.
but the way that they built that entire song, with like the videos in the background, like it felt like very like Sin City esque,
You mean set
and
design?
then
You like the set design
yeah,
of the
I like the set
choreography?
design. I like the
And I'm
set
like worrying
design.
about the keyboard's gone now. The circuit's the circuit's done.
And then there were like all the little transparent umbrellas that were like coming
Yeah.
in and out
None
and
of this
everything.
is
And I was like,
choreography.
oh, it was cute. It was at
अब
least something
अमृता ने इतने
fresh.
ही मूवीज देखे हैं तो क्या करें?
Okay, so Sujoy, you've seen all the movies. What was your best choreography for the year?
I think Panwari is obviously an Instagram hit.
Uh-huh.
Shararat is also an Instagram hit, but I think I really enjoy Shahid Kapoor dancing, so I've included Bhasar
Basar
Macha from
Macha.
Deva. The pants were really tight, the muscles were flexing, and he was
Pants were so
dancing his butt
tight.
off.
Like
Yeah.
beige pants also. Like they were so tight.
But he was dancing his ass off, and I love to see Shahid Kapoor dance because we are not seeing Hrithik Roshan dance anymore. So
We
why not?
did. We literally saw Hrithik Roshan
Oh
dance this
yeah,
year.
we did. Yeah, we actively like deleted War 2 from our
Uh,
conversation. Like
We'll
we
get to
haven't
somebody,
it.
mentioned
We'll
we
get to
have
it.
had been talking about Bollywood in 2025 for an hour and we didn't mention War 2. How amazing
like
is that?
somebody in the chat was just like, "What happened to what?" And I just scrolled right
I,
past
I, I don't think
it.
the choreography was that bad in Janabe Ali,
No,
I don't think it was
no.
that bad. I just
Yeah.
think that video was poorly executed. I think everything about the set design to like you can't put Hrithik and Junior NTR side by side and expect the same movement from the two of them. And I think that's where they failed. I think the choreography was so tailored towards Hrithik that it made
Hmm.
NTR look poor but I don't think the choreography itself was bad necessarily.
Fair.
Okay, let's move on to some performances and stuff. So, what's your favorite female performance of the year, Haroon?
I have three, I would say, that I were far beyond everybody else. I really like Sanya Malhotra in Mrs. I just thought it was just so well, like the journey from this really confident, vibrant young woman to somebody who hasn't realized that she's been suffocated within her own home was portrayed so beautifully. I really like Yami Gautam's performance in Huck. I thought she was exceptionally good. I think I've appreciated it more seeing so many snippets on social media in the last couple of weeks as well since it's released on Netflix. And actually, her performance stands really strong as standalone scenes apart from just the full narrative as well. And I really, really like Konkana Sen Sharma in Metro.
Yeah, I really like Konkana in Metro Indino. Like she was so good, and I completely agree with you about Sanya as well. I couldn't rate that movie much because I like my feelings are so wound up with the original in Malayalam. But this particular like Sanya is always a joy and a delight to watch on screen, and I wish she got more projects that allowed her to shine. Asim, what about you?
So initially my list was Vedika Pinto from Nishanchi, who's playing Rinkuji. Nina Gupta I thought was better in Metro than Konkana
Hmm.
was. Aneet Padda, but I feel she's in another list too. Tripti Dimri in Dhadak too. But after watching Haroon's list, I went to watch Huck. And then immediately Yami Gautam went to number one. I think she's undeniable how strong of a performance that is. And Amrita, I've been on the Yami train for a while, right? Like I've
Yes.
appreciated her from that hostage movie she did ages ago. So I think she's
Asim,
a
Asim, I'm sorry. You being on someone's train is not validation for their acting skills. I've known you a very long time, and I know how many trains you have caught and how many of them last.
Asim invests in all the cryptos.
It's
Harun is just pissed off at my Katrina Cave train. That's the only
No,
one
no,
he
no,
has
no.
a.
There's another one as well that I'm not gonna mention, but there's a few trains, Asim, but it's okay. You catch all the trains you like.
no, it's like the opposite actually. If Asim is on that train, it pretty much means that it's about to
Mhm.
crash. Like
And burn.
there is no, it's not a redeeming quality
Oh,
whatsoever. But anyway, so Yami got them.
I'm saying I've appreciated her for a long time. I think she's very strong in Huck, and I'm glad she got like a role, although I have issues with the movie. Yeah, go ahead.
And what about you, Sujoy?
Monica Pawar in Nishanchi, Nina Gupta in Metro Indino, and Yami Gautam. I recently got to watch Huck, and you know how for us as Desi audiences, when a performer on screen they emote and cry on screen, that's kind of the barometer of dramatic acting, right? And Yami Gautam excels in this movie. Like she cries so much, and none of them looks like artificial. It all looks like the character who she's portraying, and it's amazing. And I could not take my eyes off her performance. A lot of the scenes are pretty much one take. It's like longer than 3 minutes long monologues, and the camera hovers over her, and she is chewing scenery, but not in the most obvious way. And it's amazing. This her performance, but also paired with Imran Hashmi in this movie. Yeah, Hawk really worked just because of these two for me.
Okay, I'm just rushing through. So the next one is the Wakat Tiger Hair category. Asim, let's
Attack
start with
category. I have to
this.
explain to everybody what it was. I don't know. I made this like a while ago. It was its best male performance, that or male performance or performance. So that's what I was going for initially. But yeah, for me, this is Ahan Pandey, right?
Pandey.
Mhm.
There's another actor I could mention here, but like I said, I'm cheating and I'm not going to mention him. But Ahan, I think, best debut, one of the best debuts of the year, but also just like This is Khandaan. We started loving these actors that created like these impressionable roles as young men in love, most of them. And that's where the Khans came from. And I think Ahan is kind of doing that same thing from a guy that's making Instagram reels about Shah Rukh Khan and now being such a guy that just like completely lets himself be in love. I think that's what Bollywood is about, and I think that's like a really, really strong performance. I think Ahan is the one that deserves it this year.
What about you, Haroon?
It would be Ishan. It would be Ishan. I was going to say Ishan and Vishal. I think they were both very, very good in Homebound. I think they're both excellent. But I think Ishan is like maybe the best actor of his generation. And I don't know what generation that is, but of his generation, he's the best actor. He's amazing. I've said lots about his performance already when I mentioned Homebound.
What about you, Sujoy?
I would quickly mention Ishan because I feel that there is a lot of silence in his performance. There is a lot of observation, and he's like really consumed by the environment around him. And that's a very, because we like Desi acting is a lot of, bolna, dialogue, and all, and that was completely different in his performance. And I felt his silence in the movie. Like it was very uncomfortable how he emoted through that, and that came through. The second one I would mention is Aishwarya Thakre, who played the debut role of the twins in Nishanchi. Two completely separate characters, and he managed to, it confused me. Like, is this a special effect? Are they actual twins or not? And it was such a great acting exercise, I would say, and it was such a great performance in Nishanchi.
I agree with you guys, but I also just want to call out Akshay Khanna and Ranveer Singh in Dhurandhar
Hmm.
because that entire movie rests on those two men and their performance, and I think like they did a really great job of portraying those characters. And Ranveer Singh's perform. I know like everyone's been talking about Akshay Khanna more than Ranveer Singh, but none of that movie works without Ranveer Singh's performance. And I know Asim is a hater from like long back, but Ranveer really did pull it out of the park, in this particular.
But I think, Amrita, your answer really fits the Wakia Tiger Hai award
Yeah,
category.
exactly.
I think
Rahman
the both.
Daket is a tiger.
I think both of them were great, but I do also think that Arjun Rampal was good. I actually found him really sinister, and I wasn't sure how he would fit into that landscape. But there's a scene where he breaks into Tet Punjabi, and he does it really well. And I was like, oh, I'm really excited to see him in Dhurandhar Part 2 because of what the potential is. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on those two as well.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we talk about the best scene in a bad or forgettable movie? Sujoy, was there like a candidate for you?
I mean, yes, I would say like uh, best scene in a forgettable movie. I don't know. Um, oh yeah, the the Varun's Bhedia cameo in Thamma. I wrote that down. It was funny
Wait, there's a
because
Bhedia cameo in Thamma? Is there one?
yeah,
It's a
You
part
didn't
of
get that
the
far.
Oh,
man.
I just
Yeah.
20 minutes.
and you call yourself a Varun
I
fan?
watched the
Come
wrong
on,
20
I
minutes.
thought you were on the Varun train, man. What happened to the train?
I
it did
got the
not get that
wrong
far.
bogie. I'm on the wrong side.
It was on the rail replacement service bus.
I watched the wrong
Yeah.
20 minutes.
There is a Bheria cameo, spoiler alert, and Varun is in it, and that probably works more than the actual movie.
What about you, Harun?
Okay, so I didn't write one down, but in hindsight, I have thought of one because the Christmas holidays are also a great opportunity to re-watch like films that weren't great over the year, but now your family's all watching them, so you sit
Yeah.
around seeing things, right? So I rewatched Ek Divane Ki Divaniyat, starring Sonam Bajwa and Harshvardhan Rane. And look, I didn't mind the film. I'll be really honest with you. I didn't mind it when I watched it in the cinema, but watching it a second time, like it's not the best film. But the interval scene is crazy. Have any of you seen Ek Divane
I
Ki
have
Divaniyat?
seen it. Yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah. Okay, so the interval scene is essentially there's gonna be a spoiler here. I'm
It's
sorry, but the
spoiled.
interval scene is essentially the lead actress Sonam Bajwa's character going on stage and saying she will spend the night with any man who kills Harshvardhan Rane's character, and the way it presents itself and unfolds is just the craziest, wildest thing I have seen in Hindi cinema for the longest time. It is mad. Even when I think about it now, I'm like, how did that happen? So it has to be that scene.
Oh,
That movie is
Okay.
bonkers, by the way. That movie is insane. Like it's on Netflix, so I watched it. I
okay.
I don't like it's like some
Rajamouli could never.
no, but it's like the vision of the world of some people is so different from mine. I was like, this is so fascinating,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Asim, was there like an action sequence that you feel like really knocked it out of the park?
no, I don't like I don't know. Is there a movie that had action scenes? Yeah.
Say it, Asim, say it.
No. There had some great action scenes. I mean, I don't think there were amazing action scenes, just generally. Like, I don't think even the Dhurandhar action set pieces weren't. I think the trailer was amazing. I don't think in the movie itself, because it's you switch off, it doesn't really work for you anymore. But I think in a year where there weren't that many great action sequences, I think the Dhurandhar car chase sequence where they're dragging people. No, it's basically the assassination sequence, right?
Yeah,
Those
Babu Dakat.
yeah, those are really well done. Like that, those are the ones probably I would put in here. But I miss like hand to hand action, like like when we had kill and
Where is Vidyut Jamal this year?
he's like Street Fighter, and apparently they've announced like a Tiger Vidyut, which is like all my dreams come true and all
Hey
my
guys,
Hmm?
nobody mentioned Buggy 4.
Oh, another movie where I'm like, oh my god, the thinking and point of view of people is so different from me. That movie, it's insane.
What about you, Haroon? Do you have like an action scene? No.
Durandar
Dhurandhar?
action for me was outstanding. Like I watched it a second time in the cinema. I loved the action of it. For me, in particular, the wedding sequence where Rambaho is playing and he's serving the sherbet, and then those two guys come in to get the kid. I just think it's so well orchestrated. A lot of it is in Ranveer's eye contact and just the tenseness in his performance. I thought was amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
love the chase sequence in the streets before Akshay Khanna pounds that man with the weight, and the final forest action sequence as well.
Nani says Milab Zaveri is the director for the Tiger video. Ask him somebody hates you, man. Like somebody's out to get you all your dreams.
Yeah, it's gonna make like
Oh,
a gajillion rupees, like that movie.
Anyway, Sujoy, what is a first time performance that would like really wowed you this year or last year?
yeah, the guy. I don't want to misspell his name. Wait a minute. Where is it? Aishwari Thakre, son of Smita Thakre, who played the double role in Nishanchi.
Wait, he's the son
Wait,
of
what?
Smita Thakre?
Yeah, he's a son of Smita
Oh
Thakre.
my god!
What? I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so now
amazing.
I'm shocked. Um, Asim, what was a performance like a first time performer who like
Ahan and Aneet, those are my favorite. It's such a monumental movie. I just think, and I think it really stands. It gives me those old school debuts, right? Like the Amir Juhis and the Salman Bhagesharis, like all of those ones. I think, and they're better. They're like fully fledged, ready performance, and I cannot wait what's going to happen next with these two.
what about you, Harun?
Same. Ahan and Eat. Ahan maybe more so. I just think his character had more scope to it. But both of them, I'm looking forward to seeing what they both do.
I agree as well, but I also just want to shout out Shashwat Sachdev, who is the music director for Bats of Bollywood and also for Dhurandhar. And this was his year, this was the year that he like really broke through to the mainstream, and he's like a young, and it's not like a performance in the traditional sense of the word, but I just wanted to give him his flowers because it's been like banger after banger the entire year, or like the last 6 months of the year. So take a bow.
Can I mention one
And
more person
yeah.
in new people? And it's only because I've thought about it more since it's released on Netflix. But I did really like Vartika Singh, who played the second wife in Huck. And I know
Hmm.
it's a much smaller role, and I know that, a lot of it was just kind of posturing at a lot of points, but I just really liked her on screen, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does.
Yeah. No, that was a good performance.
One of the categories that we were talking about is like the best thing on streaming, and I think we all agreed it was Bats of Bollywood. I think
Talk about a
we,
debut, like as a
yeah.
Aryan
director,
Khan.
like oh my god, like yeah, there's no like it's like a star has arrived basically, right? And I'm just so happy, like I don't know what it is. Like I feel we all are happy that this
Get
was
on the train now. Get on the train before it
the
leaves.
train is departing. Yeah. I like less busy trains though. I like trains where there's nobody, it's just me. This one is very crowded, I feel. No, but I also just like Sabka Bacha, everybody kind of rolled out the carpet from him and he delivered. I think it's both of those things together. I
Yeah.
think also Bad's just this probably the best thing that's like more than a lot of the movies. I think Bads is probably the show content coming out of Bollywood that I like the most. I really, really like Bads of Bollywood.
Let's also talk about our like what was our favorite like non-Hindi films this year. Like I know there's been because we've been talking about like how Hindi was like not all that great in 2025, but we had like other film industries as well. Haroon, were there like particular ones that really appealed to you?
I didn't watch enough. I'll be really honest. I didn't watch enough
Mm.
non-Hindi films. I watched Bison. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as everybody else was. Like people were loving it. I didn't love it. But can I talk about two English films that I loved?
Uh-huh, sure.
I love One Battle After Another, and I
Mm-hmm.
love Sinners. I think they're both incredibly well-made films.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to watch Marty Supreme. I haven't yet, but I've heard that's also very, very good. But for me, One Battle After Another and Sinners were probably my favorite non-Hindi films.
Yeah, they would be my top two. Like this, they're so good. Sinners, especially. I think with the only batter, I think because I've been reading a lot of the conversations around that movie, it's kind of lowered a little bit in terms of where I find Sinners. But Sinners is just like, oh my god, so good.
I think if people want to see more from Asim in particular, then you should sign up for our Patreon from like $1 only, because he does these letterbox reviews at the end of every month or like whenever the spirit moves, really. And he watches more stuff than anybody should ever watch, and he'll talk about it, and he will tell you about things that you didn't even know were available, and it is great. Like it's one of my favorite things to sit down and listen to. Sometimes I take his advice, and it's always good advice. So sign up to our Patreon and listen to Asim talk about his letterbox review. um Sujoy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like wind this down by asking you, is there like a South Indian movie that you think Bollywood will remake badly?
They've yeah, I think so. So they've already made the first chapter of Hit, I believe, with Rajkumar Yadav, and the third one came out last year, and I think they would continue to make those with, you know, very negative returns on it. I don't know how they would. I don't see Rajkumar Yadav in that role, and I don't know. I
By
haven't seen the.
by
Sorry.
Rajkumar Yadav, do you mean Rajkumar Rao?
Yeah, Rajkumar Rao. I mean, he was Rajkumar Yadav, right? For the first before he became Rajkumar Rao.
Was he? I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm not up on my Rajkumar Rao
Yeah, he
lore.
was. That's his real name.
That's his real name.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
interesting, interesting.
yeah, yeah. So before he became Rajkumar Rao, yeah. So hit and my two joke answers are Daku Maharaj and Akhanda 2, which I think is a future that Salman Khan might look into if he
Has
if he
Asim not
continues to
suffered enough?
collaborate with the people that he is still collaborating with. This is the
Uh,
future that we might, look at with Salman Khan in Daku Maharaj.
okay, so we've been doing this for an hour and a half. So Haroon, let's wrap this up. What movies are you looking forward to in 2026?
I am looking forward to Durandar Part 2. I'm looking forward to Love and War, and I'm looking forward to King.
Sujoy, what about you?
I'm looking forward to Ramayana. I just want to see if it really soars or if it like hits the ground. I am like I want this to become the global franchise that we've been trying to make, because obviously this is going to be a VFX heavy thing, and the conversation about how expensive it is and all of that. I want to see how that pans out. Dhurandhar 2, just to see how this story ends, or if it ends at all, and they like, haha, there might be a part 3 or whatever. Uh, um, and I want to see how Awarapan 2 is, because yeah, Imran Hashmi, सारी इंडस्ट्री एक तरफ, इमरान हाशमी दूसरी तरफ.
What about you, Asim?
I think you guys have mentioned most of the things. I think Ramayan, I'm really interested in. It's just like the scale of it is just so impressive. I think I'm looking forward to that more than Dhurandhar. I'm not even sure if I'm going to go watch it in theaters, to be honest. King, Shah Rukh is back, so definitely that. I think also Amir will be dropping a few movies. I think he's very much like seems very excited. I didn't get a chance yet to watch Happy Patel, which I'm hoping to. But if Lahore drops, that might be an interesting one to watch. I'm not too sure about Battle of Jon Snow Salman, that teaser that just dropped. But it's Salman, man. I'm on the train. Like, I can't get off. I've tried to. Like, doors are locked.
I'd forgotten before I saw the teaser. I'd forgotten that the Indian and Chinese forces only battle with sticks because if they start shooting at each other, then it's a full-on war between two nuclear powered countries. And I was so confused when I saw Salman take up the lathi and stare down the Chinese. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. And then I was like, oh, I see, I see. No, like the things that I'm sure that Dhurandhar is going to do like a whole bunch of business, right? And I think Ramayana is probably going to make a lot of money as well if its target audience can get out of its way, because the way that I see social media gearing up thus far, it looks like the core audience for that film is the one that is rooting the most for it to fail, which
Yeah.
is like insane. Like, I don't understand what is happening. I am also looking forward to King, of course, because Shah Rukh for life. And yeah, Love and War. I hear on Reddit that it is a cursed production and, bad things are happening and we might not even get it this year. But I don't know. I would like a little bit of grandeur. I would like to see, a ballroom dance with, choreographed by Sanjay Leela Bansali. Like it would be nice. I saw the set, which is like a gorgeous Art Deco house set. I'm on board. I want
The
to see
only
something
thing that
pretty.
that movie will get killed off is because of the mustaches. None of these people are able to carry a mustache really well. And like my uncle used to call it the Sharminda Mooch, and I think they all have Sharminda Mooches in this movie. It's not looking good.
Sharminda.
Oh, the Sharminda Mooch.
You made Harun Sharminda
I know.
now.
We
He
ran
was
him off.
texting me, "My phone is dying. My phone is dying."
Almost. We almost made it to the end. But thanks for joining, everybody. I know, like, this is the quintessential Khandaan live stream where we're like, we're gonna do this for like 45 minutes, and it's an hour and a half later, and our guest had to literally leave because
I
their
was looking at the
bash.
live stream clock and it was like 30 minutes and we had only done number five.
Um, this
How much
is
of Nadania we have?
this is very much a Khandan thing. But thank you all for joining. We love our Khandan. We love that you guys are here. We hope to do more of these through the year, through 2026. Join us on Patreon, which is where, that's our safe space. That's where we hang out a lot. That's where we like to talk to our Patreons. And we've sort of like built a community. So come join us. The link is down below, I think, right? Sujoy? I think the
I
link is
believe so.
there in the description, or
If
it
not,
will
it's
be.
patreon.com/Khandan podcast or
There you
just
go.
Google us. Yeah.
There you go. And if you have stumbled across a live stream through, I don't know, the YouTube algorithm or something, then comment, like, subscribe. Every bit helps. We are trying to do more things on YouTube this year. So join us, and goodbye, and good luck, I guess, with everything that's happening at the movies.
क्या बोलती